Hi readers, welcome back to my channel, Lila Wanders and Reads. Lee here, and welcome to my weekend books, which was actually pretty productive for me for once. I've been struggling, if you follow me, you know, I've been struggling for weeks, pretty much all of the month of October and most of November, and I just haven't been able to finish anything. Just really a struggle. And I looked back in my history, and this time last year I had the same struggle, so maybe it's a time of year thing. There's a lot of things going on that are distracting, holidays coming up, that kind of stuff, and maybe I think it may be a little bit of burnout, although I don't know why it resets somehow in like December and January. Who knows? Anywho, this week I will have finished 4 books. I do not have one of them down here because, well, I'll tell you why when we get there. And of these 4 books, 3 of them were kind of meh for me. The first one, which I'll talk about, is the one I don't have down here, and that is Nora Roberts' The Seven Rings. It is the 3rd in a trilogy. She usually does a standalone and a trilogy in that kind of order, and it pains me to say this, but the reason the book is not down here is because I already took it upstairs to my library, and I did not want to take the effort to go bring it down and tell you about it. I love Nora Roberts. I have been ride or die Nora Roberts my whole life. I've been reading through her catalog and sometimes rereading over the past couple years, and some of her early stuff you could tell she's really still honing her craft. In about the middle years is when I fell in love with her writing, and now it seems to be going like down the hill again. And I'll tell you why. Because the book, the concept is good and fun and unique. But one of the things that she does well is descriptions of setting a scene for you. But now it feels like she's overdoing that. In the second book in the series, she spent 3 pages with the characters gardening. A page maybe would have been appropriate. So it seems like she's doing that much more. And so by the time you get to the action, I don't care anymore. I'm bored. I'm skimming through the action because at this point I just want to finish. And that's really disappointing to me, but I've noticed it in several books now. I think the first book in the series was the best, and then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger with more day-to-day. Like if I wrote you about my day, you'd be really bored most of the time. It's washing dishes, it's doing laundry, it's reading, not things I want to read about. There were some exciting, and I say exciting, but moments that were engaging and interesting to me, but it got so bogged down in the daily. You know, if I had to read about Sonia going to get a Coke one more time, so I'm really disappointed in that. I gave it a 3 because it's Nora Roberts and it was well written. I just wish she would cut back on some of the descriptiveness and get more action on the page. Anywho. Oh, my radio did a weird thing. Anywho, next up, I read The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han, and I'll tell you what this is about. When each summer begins, Belly leaves her school life behind and escapes to Cousins Beach, the place she has spent every summer of her life. Not only does the beach house mean home away from home, but her favorite people are there: Susanna, her mother's best friend, and her sons, Conrad and Jeremiah. Belly has been chasing Conrad for as long as she can remember, and more than anything, she hopes this summer will be different. Despite distractions from a new guy named Cam and lingering looks from Conrad's brother Jeremiah, Belly's heart belongs to Conrad. Will he offer his to her? Will this be the summer that changes everything? Again, another meh book. I read and enjoyed Jenny Han's To All the Boys I Loved Before. I think that's the name of it. Loved that series. In that series, you knew that you were reading about a teenage girl, but it was just more exciting to me. This one, first of all, you don't know why she's called Belly until late in the book, later than it should have been. And second of all, like many teenage girls, Belly was very self-preoccupied. It was all about her. She didn't seem to notice things going on around her or why they were, sorry, I got the light coming in, why they were happening. There was something I caught on to from almost page 1. It was maybe page 2 or 3. And Belly clueless. And even when it was revealed, it was all about Belly. And you know what? It's very much a teenage girl. I was very self-involved myself when I was that age, but I just don't want to read about it. Unfortunately, I bought the entire series, and I'm not going to read the entire series. I may take this and put it in the little free library down the road. The whole series. There were some things I liked. I wish she would have explored more about how Belly felt kind of, she was the only girl in the group, the only young girl, and so how she felt about that. I wish she would have explored that more, but again, very realistic. It just wasn't interesting to me. Next up, another meh book. This one, I feel, would have benefited from being more fleshed out. So if they could have fleshed out Near the Bone by Christina Henry and taken some off of Nora Roberts, both books would be perfect, I think. So, I've had this book for a long time, haven't read it until now. Maddie can't remember a time before she and William lived alone on a mountain together. She must never make him upset. But when Maddie discovers the mutilated body of a fox in the woods, she realizes they're not alone after all. There's something in the woods that wasn't here before. Something that makes strange cries in the night. Something with sharp teeth and claws. When 3 strangers appear on the mountaintop looking for the creature in the woods, Maddie knows their presence will anger William. Terrible things happen when William is angry. Again, I think this went straight into the action, which was fine. There was a moment that I wanted it to slow down, take a breath, and let me get my bearings a little bit more. Like, give me some more background. There is a little bit of it. I felt it could have benefited more, particularly when you find out about the creature. I would have liked more about the creature. Instead, it was just like this horrible monster that chased them until the end, and then something happens at the end. I won't spoil it for you. Decent read. I just felt like I didn't know what the creature looked like. I didn't get a good visual of that. I felt like there was an opportunity to do something at the end when something is revealed that just was missed. So, just an okay book, but it was decent for helping me get out of my slump. So in the end, don't remember what I rated this on Goodreads, but this was a better read for me than either The Summer I Turned Pretty or the Nora Roberts book. So I thought that I was going to pick up, this is an opportunity for me to hopefully not drop things. I have been reading Code Girls, The Untold Story of the American Women Code Breakers of World War II by Liza Mundy, who, by the way, I announced this on one of my shorts, is the wife of Bill Nye the Science Guy, or rather, he's her husband. So I am reading this in anticipation and hope that I get accepted into grad school at Arizona State University under their World War II master's program, which they offer and are partnered with the National World War II Museum down in New Orleans. So after Near the Bone, I thought I was going to pick this up and finish it and not pick up any more fiction, but I did not. I picked up another fiction. I've made a great deal of progress in this week. I've read at least an hour a day on it. I'm on chapter 9. I'm more than halfway through. I'm just going to sit here and pray. God damn it, they named it. There's 16 chapters and an epilogue. But it's a pretty fast read. I love her writing styles. I've learned several things. I've not tabbed anything in here because if I get accepted into the master's degree program and if this is still on the syllabus when I do, I'm going to use a different highlighter or something and then go through and tab things that stand out to me so I can compare the things. because I'll just skim it next time. But what I plan to do on Code Girls after I finish is to write out a thoughtful either YouTube short or 5 minutes or so review of what I learned from Code Girls, and I'll let you know. Hopefully that'll come maybe next week. Okay. And this has to be a sign. At least I'm hoping it's a sign. So I've had this next series for a while. And if you've got this far, Jacob, if you have not read this, I think you'd love it. It is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. It is fantasy, but it is fantasy that has a World War II connection, and I didn't know it when I picked it up. Let me tell you what it's about first. When War Orphan Rin aced the Keiju, the empire-wide test to find the most talented youth to learn at the academies, she surprised everyone. Test officials, the guardians who wanted to marry her off, and further their criminal enterprise, and even herself. But being a dark-skinned peasant girl from the south is not easy at Sinigard, the most elite military school in Nakan. Targeted by rival classmates for her color, poverty, and gender, Rin discovers that gods long thought dead are very much alive, and that she possesses a lethal, unearthly power, an aptitude for the nearly mythical art of shamanism that could be the weapon the Empire desperately needs. While Nakara is at peace, its enemy and former occupiers, the Federation of Mugen, bides its time, and a third Poppy War is just a spark away. Rin's shamanic powers may be the only way to save her people. Yet, as she discovers more about the god that has chosen her, the vengeful Phoenix, she fears that winning the war may cost her her humanity, and it may already be too late. Now, I've read R.F. Kuang's Yellowface a couple years ago, whenever it came out. I thought that was just okay. I love this. I can't believe I didn't read it. But I do wish she had included a character chart, because there was a break, like going from part 1 to part 2, and when part 2 picked up, there were some characters that I either forgot or hadn't been introduced to yet, so it was a little bit jarring for me. But not enough to put it down. I made a quick adjustment. And one of the things that I complain about, before I get to the connection, World War II connection, one of the things that I complain about, particularly in young fantasy authors, is that they seem to want to put all the world building on the page. And what Kuang does this too, but what I realized is it's the writing style and the way you do this. I didn't feel like characters were acting unnaturally, like spouting history in a way that people wouldn't normally. Even when it came out in the lectures, it was natural. It felt organic. And so this is what I was looking for in a fantasy, is this, just all this. It's the writing style. I can't explain it very well, but anyway. So I went looking for a character chart in the back, and there wasn't one. But then this book has P.S. Insights, Interviews, and More, and a note from the author, and she says that this is based on the Rape of Nanking and the Sino-Japanese War, which preceded World War II or is a part of World War II. That is an area I know zero about. From when it comes to Japan, I know about Pearl Harbor and what happened after. And I'm plan, if I get accepted, to learn more about that. But one of the sources that Kuang uses for this book is this book, The Rape of Nanking by Iris Chang, The Forgotten Holocaust of World War II. Now, I have not read this, obviously, it's brand new, but I picked this up months ago probably, and did not realize there was connection. So, it's got to be a sign that I'll get accepted, inshallah, to the master's degree program. If I do, then this is definitely a resource I will lean on. I don't know that I will read it anytime soon because I've got a lot of prep reading and a lot of other books to read. However, this is going to go back behind me on my World War II shelves. Again, just really, really, really enjoying this series. After this finishes, I will not go right into the second one. I have a book club book to read next, but then I will probably return to the series shortly thereafter. Anywho, I'm not going to put any links down below because nobody seems to click them anyway. But don't feel free to comment, and I will add a link in the comments to any of these books through bookshop.org. Or if you have any questions, or if you've read any of these books and have any opinions, I'd love to hear from you. And if you've stuck with me this long, as always, thank you for sticking with me on my journey, and happy reading.